How will Fulham, Leeds, and West Brom perform in the Premier League next season? To be honest, I was quite impressed with all of these teams last season. Granted, the Championship isn't the same level as the Premier League, but these teams defended well, they passed the ball well, took chances when they came, and ultimately, I think they'll offer a lot in the Premier League next season. I watched three random games involving these teams, and they were all extremely wasteful in front of goal. If they're going to stay up in the Premier League next season, they're going to have to sharpen up in front of goal. Ultimately, what's going to keep these teams in the Premier League is the fixtures. If any one of these teams starts off with horrible fixtures, that could set the trend of them going down next season. We've seen this happen in the past before with Fulham. A couple of years ago under Slavinsky or whatever his name was, they did pick up a couple of good results in the early games, but they had a couple of tough fixtures which they ended up getting absolutely wastelanded in, and they never fully recovered. So if they can get a couple of good fixtures and get their season going early, that could potentially keep them up in the league next season. I was going to mention something else. Yeah, let's take a look at these teams individually. So with Fulham, manager Scott Parker, still inexperienced. He's never managed in the Premier League before. I think it could be a tough season for him. Fulham don't really have any star players. I know they got Mitrovic, but you know he's gotten more experience from the last time he was in the Premier League. But I just feel like they haven't got enough firepower to keep themselves in the division. With Leeds, they're a bit more organised than Fulham, and I feel like they've got a bit more firepower. Obviously, better defensively. Bielsa is a world-class manager. I'll call him a top manager. I won't say world-class, but he's well known in the football world. Um, and the style of play he has them, using the channels, trying to get runners in behind, and I think he could potentially cause a lot of teams problems next season and ultimately keep them up. West Brom has big question marks over it. Obviously, Slaven Bilic has quite a bit of experience in the league, having managed West Brom a few years ago. But I'm not really sure about this West Brom team. They don't really seem to have a lot of quality players. They do tend to create quite a few chances in games, but at the same time, they're a bit shaky defensively, and they tend to crumble under pressure. It's really, really difficult to really see where they're going to finish, but I think they'll just stay up. This has been a really tough video to make because I'm not really sure what's going to happen next season. All of these teams can play good football, but in the Premier League, it's not about how well you can play football. It's about getting results because there's a lot of tough teams in the league, and results can go either way. Sometimes, it's a flip of the coin, 50-50. You might lose one game and then you lose the next four or five after that, or you win one game and you go on a good run. It's really unpredictable, and I guess we'll see what happens next season.